It is 6 o'clock. We're going to open the Board of Selectmen's meeting for Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. The first item on our agenda are the meeting minutes of October 28th and November 10th. Oh, you said the 28th
Yeah,
are in
the
here?
28th, yeah.
So we're the minutes of November 10th and the joint meeting with advisory for November 12th.
I can make a motion for the minute meeting of November 10th.
Second.
Any discussion?
I want to make some amendments, corrections. I
Okay.
can either just,
No, go ahead.
page 5.
Yep.
The first sentence, it was per her handout, it should be put her handout. I'll make a
Should be
second.
put, yep.
Couple sentences down, the dogs did treat the bottom of the fence. I think it meant to say damage. Page 7. In the middle, under, and I'll
Mhm.
give you these two.
Attached
Um,
with a K.
Yep.
Yep.
It said attacked instead of attached.
Yeah.
Several dogs of different, and it doesn't say anything. It should say different owners or different days or different
Okay.
something.
Yep.
I think it meant to
Don't
say
read
different
that.
owners.
Yep.
A little bit further down, it had attached and attacked. So it should be just attacked.
It's my fingers now.
Page 13, under the tree lighting.
Yep.
Whether to fund the cost of $7,000, I want to take out to use Arsenal because I did not say to use Arsenal because I
Okay.
didn't even know that was the company's name. $7,000 to light the tree is what we're,
Okay.
December of 26. So we just take out to use Arsenal because we'd have to go out to quote for that. And those are the changes that I saw.
Great.
So do we need a new motion to accept the minutes as amended?
As amended.
Motion to accept as amended.
You want a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. How about the minutes of November 10th?
Those were the 10.
I mean, the joint meeting, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
for the 12th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 12th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, we're going to go off our agenda for a couple of minutes. I want to pull item 12, other business, to the top because Brad has to leave. So we got our free cash number, and it is $281,000 in free cash. We're starting out this budget season already with a deficit of $560,000. So we're already, what, 280 in the hole. We're going to have another joint meeting on the 2nd so that we can meet with advisory and come up with a game plan. I did speak with Lori, and she thinks immediately we should be looking at a total budget freeze, no new hires, a hiring freeze obviously, and no purchasing for the rest of the year on the current fiscal year without Board of Selectmen approval. Also mentioned opening the union agreements to negotiate insurance. We've talked about closing the town hall another day. There's no way around it. There are going to have to be cuts this year. We're already 280,000 in the hole without doing anything. And that's keeping everything at level
Which
funded.
we know we can't do.
Right. We will be seeking a Prop 2.5 override. We're still trying to figure out the amount. We'll prepare two budgets, one if the override goes through, which would basically be a level fund. Not a level service, but a level fund. And one if the override doesn't go through, which will be cuts. And a great deal of cuts. So I don't know that we should do anything tonight as far as
No?
simply because of it's not on the agenda, and so it wouldn't be
Right.
very transparent if we just said, okay, hiring freeze, none of that can happen right now without putting it on the agenda for discussion. But I did want to bring it up.
So we have a joint meeting with advisory on Monday night, the 2nd.
Is it Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday, sorry.
Tuesday the
Tuesday
2nd.
So part of that discussion is going to be, what are we going to do? And if nothing else, it probably should be on that agenda that evening.
It's a wide open agenda that evening, so.
Okay. Because if we need to vote to take some action,
For this fiscal year, then I would say to place it on the agenda as a potential topic of discussion and potential vote. If you're talking about a fiscal 26 hiring freeze and purchase freeze with Board of Selectmen approval for fiscal 26,
Yes, that's what
then,
we're talking about.
you know,
For this year.
because the meeting is to discuss the process, budget process for fiscal 27. So just
Right.
to be completely transparent, we'll amend the agenda. And then you guys will want to think about the purchase freeze and what that limit will be, so that we're not fielding $200 purchases to operate their, or their, they need to order their paper, whatever it may be. So we want to probably really take a look at that and think about it.
yeah, and that's what we've done in the past in the schools when it gets to
Sure.
crunch time, and there's certain categories and things, and otherwise the answer is pretty much no.
I don't want to spend a lot of time discussing
Yeah.
that on the next Tuesday's meeting, though, so let's add it to our next agenda. And because that meeting, we really need to figure out what we're going to do for next fiscal year. But for this current fiscal year, we obviously have to do something.
So we'll
As
put
well.
it on the 9th.
The 9th, yep. Anybody have any other comments about this particular issue before we move on to our?
No, I think we have to really put our heads together, but I think that's what we're going to end up doing on the 2nd with advisory of a number of different steps.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we should have the topic on the 2nd. Just should we even be talking about 26 if it's
we
not on
can.
the
I just don't
agenda?
want to get sidetracked on it. That's all.
Yeah.
So if you're going to talk about it on the 9th, then we will not place it on the
No,
2nd. Or
Put it
you're
on the
saying-
2nd as well. We can talk about it
Okay.
in both.
Well, what I'm thinking about is maybe
Be safe.
it might be a discussion that comes up that I don't
Sure.
want it to say we shouldn't be touching that area,
Right.
and we should while we're all together.
Mhm.
But maybe the vote is not taken that night.
Right.
The other thing you may want to discuss as well would be capital
Capital gains or capital improvements.
gains would be
Capital gains.
Don't we wish?
Capital
Yeah.
improvement.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, nothing's off the table. I honestly don't know if we will be able to finish the phase 3 of Route 9.
We'll get to that. Unless you want me to get to it right now. I can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hold on 1 second. You go ahead, Chief.
Just on your hiring freeze, if you guys do vote that, one thing I'd like you to just think about is I have traffic constables that don't cost the town any money, and I need to appoint more of those because
Okay.
we have, 10, 12, sometimes 14 details a day. So, I just want you to just be cognizant of that.
Yeah. We'll try to remember. If you can come to the meeting, that'd be great.
So I sat down with Superintendent of Highway, Jim Daly, and one of the topics we discussed was Phase 3 of the Route 9 project. And initially, he was going to enter into, we would do one contract with the engineering firm for Phase 3. And instead, he's proposing to break it into 2 contracts. And the first contract would cover fiscal 27 and 28 to get the design to the 75% plans. And then Highway will use Chapter 90 funds to cover that contract in full. So that gets us through 27 and 28. In review of those projects that he has listed for Chapter 90 funds, it looks like Kennedy Road would be delayed for a bit. Then the second contract, which would go into effect for fiscal 29 and 30, that contract would bring the plans to 100% and to construction documents. And the goal there is to obtain a $500,000 grant towards the cost of that contract. So CMRPC staff, and you're already aware of the letter that was received and that was issued from Jim. CMRPC staff, legislators are working together with Highway to apply for that grant, and the engineering firm CHA is working on a $150,000 grant for culvert number 10, which is a part of that project as well. So the first 2 years of phase 3 covered completely by Chapter 90, and it gives 2 years time to be able to prepare for the $500,000 grant with the assistance of the legislators and CMRPC.
So I'm not a big fan of using Chapter 90 funds for it because the rest of our roads need improvement as well. And if we use all that money there, then like Kennedy's a great example. That'd be
it's
another 2
unfortunate.
years. So
It's
if we
definitely
have to
unfortunate.
choose between doing our local roads or doing Route 9, I would choose our local roads.
And I would just recommend you think about that, simply because if you are to look for federal funding in the future, it'd be pretty hard pressed to receive it to cancel this late in the project.
I understand.
So I have a question. So the Route 9 part that the highway superintendent is proposing to use Chapter 90 money in 27 and 28, that's for the design. Where do we come into again with the easements, the
The legal.
appraisals, the legal, the...
I am told that phase 3 does not have any ROWs because you're past the 25% design phase. That's all I have on phase
Okay.
3.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else with respect to our current budget crisis?
Not at the moment.
All right. Well, moving on then, we shall move back up to item 2 on our agenda, which is declaring 2 fire department trucks for our and Central States models as surplus property.
So they're the 1983 duplex Farrar and the 1992-93 Central States vehicles. It's engine 1 and engine 2.
Are these the ones that are over on?
No.
One's in highway and engine 1, I believe, is behind the building.
Okay.
Yep, and that was with a cracked engine.
So what's happening with the green one? The 86 International?
Those are just on my list, but because he needed a full list with the model numbers.
No, I've been wanting him to get rid of those trucks back there for a long time because it looks
Yeah.
awful.
I know
Looks like
we've
the
got
junkyard.
2 that are being surplus. I'm not sure about the other ones. If there's any more behind there. This
Okay.
was just a list that he gave me.
Okay.
So
Yeah, where's the 47 Maxim?
I think there's 2 down at the highway.
There are.
I work at
Yeah.
Sherman.
Yeah,
Oakland.
the-
this
one
one I
is
think
the-
was from the grant that finally got released and we're okay to deal with that. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about the other one.
The green one is the one that we got from, I think the U.S. Air Force. And it technically belongs to them, but I don't know how we get it back
Maybe
to
we
them.
can't. Yeah. I can ask him.
I'll accept a motion declaring those 2 fire trucks as surplus property.
Motion to surplus property.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Those trucks are surplus. Next item on the agenda is the closure of School Street, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for White Christmas event on December 7th. Is there anybody here from White Christmas that wants to talk about it?
So
ahead,
we
Ellie.
have Leah Shattuck who brings her horses and carriages and does the rides, the free rides sponsored by Country Bank around the Common. And we have in the past closed School Street. There was a request because the horses are loading people in and out, and also like the horses get spooked. It's just easier for Leah and her team if we just close them. So we've done that before. We've coordinated with either the bandstand committee, Erin, or the common committee to get into the basement of the bandstand, and we put up the barriers that they use on the sides to close that street off. We've done that for several years. I had a conversation with Officer Latendra maybe a week or two ago, and he had mentioned, hey, do you guys know that you need to bring this to the Board of Selectmen and have them, either vote on it or whatever the process is. So that's why we're here. And then I additionally had a conversation with Chief Hagland about an hour and a half ago. He has some more concerns that he'd like to talk to you guys about. So I'll let him take the floor.
Yeah, so Heather and I have been trying to get to, just been missing each other in the wind there. I did have a good chance to speak with her. When we close streets, especially for large events, we're going to be cognizant of soft barriers, which is what we've been using, or harder barriers, or big barriers that prevent vehicles from ramming it, either accidentally or on purpose. The barriers that we currently use are soft barriers. They wouldn't stop a bicyclist from getting through it. We do have a harder set of barriers that you can fill with water, but that's going to take some collaboration with the highway or whomever.
Just to clarify, those orange ones are highway.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, the ones we use are just those wooden ones. They're like a T. You put a 2x4 across them. They're just wood.
So it just make it more difficult for vehicular access. If there's going to be a lot of people in that School Street area, it doesn't sound like there's going to be as many as there are for the summer concert series. But I want to try to keep things as safe as possible, and it would be nice to be able to have a hardened barrier there to keep the horses safe and whoever is walking in between School Street there. So I want to put that on your radar. We don't have a real permitting process for these events on the Common, so it just happens to be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And it's kind of ad hoc, which is I don't want to send Heather scrambling, but I want to also try to keep it as safe as possible. I'm planning on putting extra patrol on that day, but it only puts 2 officers, on duty for the day. So, we do have limited resources. And then we also, I think we typically cover the street signs on Maple Street, the temporary parking. Again, that would have to be coordinated with somebody to cover those. They usually cover them with trash bags for the day.
Who normally does that?
So to interject, I don't believe after speaking with the committee that we've ever done that, and we've never asked anybody to do that. Nathan believed that last year that the stakes, the no parking signs had gone up. We don't even recall that happening. That was something else that Nathan brought up, that we would have to coordinate with Jim to get those done. But I'm not sure if that's been like an every year thing. At least it wasn't on our radar. We've never.
I know the last 4 years because I live on that street. The last 4 years, there's either been the plastic put on the 30-minute parking limit sign, or the orange signs have gone up, because the problem is they close off School Street.
Yeah.
The next street becomes Maple Street that they cut over, and they start parking on both sides of the road, and you can't get 2 lanes of traffic going up and down.
For White Christmas?
For any of the events.
Really? Okay.
Because don't forget, some things are happening at the school as well, so they park over on Maple Street and not at the school. So that's where it starts going. And on Winter Street, they park.
That's good feedback, because we're usually stuck at all the events, so we don't see what's going on with the signs.
And it really, it gets tight trying to get 2 vehicles, because that's the only street they're going both ways now to get from Route 67 to Route 9. And if we needed to get an emergency vehicle up that street, you really can't.
Yeah.
It's like 1 lane at a time trying to get cars through there. It gets a little treacherous.
That's what happens here on Cottage Street as well. Every time there's an event, you can't. There's people parking everywhere.
Yeah. I think what happens over there is it's not even really a 2-lane road over there, barely.
Yeah.
So when they park on both sides, and that's what's happened, they've allowed parking on one side, but not the other side.
And for the people parking there, those signs are barely readable. Those
Yeah.
30-minute signs or an hour sign.
Yeah.
They're really difficult to read. So as soon as you see one person or two people doing it,
Yes.
everybody's going to kind of follow suit. So I guess my recommendation would be to post the one side, no parking, like we typically
Yeah.
do, cover the no parking signs.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't seem like there is as much traffic around the common as there is for Asparagus Festival, but the no parking signs, on the west side of North Main Street and on the west side of East Main Street. The west side of East Main Street, towards the War Memorial.
Yeah.
To prevent those bottlenecks and make sure emergency
Where
traffic.
would the north side, the west side of North Main Street be?
Just by the War Memorial. Because people will tend to park on the,
Right next to the yield sign.
yeah,
You can't see.
so they tend to park right on the common side,
Okay.
right at the War Memorial, right?
Basically where there's not parking spots.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So-
And it is that one crossover to get from Route 9 to Route 67. If School Street's closed, it's Maple Street or that little
Oh, yeah.
turnaround by the War Memorial. The only two places they can get from one to the other.
And to the chair, you said you're having a bus from the senior center?
We hire Lezacs, and because parking has always been an issue over at the vendor fair, we've had lots of complaints over the years about customers not having parking. So we shuttle, just like the Asparagus Festival does, and they park at Gavitt. We have their permission. So the shuttle buses our vendors back and forth in the morning and the afternoon, and then during the day we have the bus making loops so that it's easier for families and little kids to get
Nice.
around. Yep, another free service, so that they don't have to walk in the cold, and if it's raining, it's kind of miserable trying to walk throughout town. So they do senior center, the tavern, the horses, the school, the town hall, and back to the senior center, and just kind of loop all day long, picking up people at the designated spots that need to be picked up.
So they'll just need to be able to swing the bus someplace.
They'll
just need to be able to swing the bus wherever the traffic parking piece is that they
It's
can.
it's the smaller one.
But they still need to be. It's bigger than a car, so
Yeah,
I'm just thinking if they're trying to get through Maple Street or they're trying to turn around in the driveway in the school.
yeah.
If you want, we can, maybe early next week. Monday would be best for me. To try to figure out, where to put all the no parking signs.
Yeah, so we've never done that before. My concerns was I think highway is usually the people that stake them in the ground. I know that they're strapped also.
Honestly, what I remember seeing is the highway guys coming and putting this plastic over
Yeah,
the
that's what
parking
I
signs on Maple is what I
thought.
remember. The orange signs, I thought the police department was doing it.
I don't mind doing them, but it's typically the highway department that does do that.
So it's such
We don't want-
short notice. I'm a little concerned that Jim might be like, we don't have the resources to do so. So
No, if good. Yeah, Teresa.
And I think it's just wonderful, this whole event in that, but it's definitely a good example as to, going forward that we implement some type of special events permitting process. And I
Absolutely.
just wanted to say that Alex from the Board of Health, she provided me with a substantial packet, and apparently the town had been working on one. And so maybe it's time to resurrect that and kind of tailor it to the needs, and then that way, Nathan and I have spoken about it, highway, fire, Board of Health, just that it would be great to have these applications put forth and signed off by all these departments so that the plan is pretty much all set before it comes to the Board of Selectmen. And then
agreed.
everyone's on the same page, and if you need plans or, something like that, or, it's schedules and that type of thing, it would be kind of streamline that process for you.
I have to say that I completely agree with you. Like our committee, we've been on the committee for like 5, 6, 7 years. Some of these people have lived here, their whole lives, and it seems for us like every year we find something else out that like we're not doing, and we're pretty informed for the normal townsperson. You know, even the Board of Health, like prior to Alex coming along, none of the vendors through town have ever pulled a food permit. None of the anybody, none, zero. You know, so it's been a lot of change recently and a lot more paperwork to have these events going on. But I think exactly what Teresa said would make volunteers and town life and you guys is a little easier if it was in a nice neat packet. And
No, I agree.
yeah,
I agree.
And that way nobody's scrambling at the last minute either.
100%.
Putting up signs or
Yeah.
trying to figure out where to put barriers or have somebody get hurt.
I mean, since Jim has done these in the past, or since the highway department's done it in the past, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do it again for this.
okay.
So, though, you know, I can't imagine that would be a problem.
Okay.
And the two of you will coordinate later on this week
Yeah.
to determine where the signage should go.
And then maybe we can send an email together and CC like Beth or something just so that all parties involved are,
Okay.
On
In
the
the
same
name.
page.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get any pushback.
We should probably take the vote to close the street.
Motion
With the
to close
current
street.
barriers that we have now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's too late to try to
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
do anything else with
Put
it.
up a cruiser, you wanna put up a cruiser?
The problem with that is they're so wide, right? So if you're gonna use hardened barriers, you can kind of put a vehicle in the way. But just bringing a car down there and leaving it there, I think is, probably not the smartest thing, especially with, having nobody to man the cruiser.
No, it happened on
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah.
Right.
There's two cruises.
And there
Yeah.
needs to be an opening because the
For the
horses.
horses.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Go
shuttle.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll make a motion to close School Street from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on December 7th for White Christmas.
Second.
Any other discussion?
But Mr. Chair,
Chief?
also the Maple Street signs.
Oh,
And I'll amend that motion to include the Maple Street signage to block the 30-minute in one
Second.
side.
so all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes.
Thank you. And then just to piggyback on Nathan's, like, I never thought about this, but you do often see people driving into crowds a lot in the news these days and having small children that run around, during concert and the comment. I think we should really probably look into something a little bit more secure moving forward. Like, we don't want to have a problem after something like this.
Absolutely. All right, the next item on our agenda is Villa Estates roads improvement by landowners for approval.
Hi there. Hello.
Hey, Dean.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you, sir?
Standing in for Steve Casey. He's our president of Villa Estates in town. We've had some improvements done down there, and I'd like to address the board with trying to find a reasonable approach to put it all to bed. We're requesting permission to add some pervious fill to the parking area at the end of Cottage Street. The town has done recent work there to address stormwater runoff and flash flooding. The layout of the dead-end street had made it difficult to plow and also to turn around safely. The recent town work there has vastly improved both issues, following the past winter storm-related accidents that have occurred. The improved Cottage Street egress now allows emergency medical services and fire department hydrant access safely for the benefit of all residents. The fire hydrant is at the end of the dead-end road. Cottage Street is paved down to and only including the Lyons old property that is there with the white cottages. As Cottage Street extended to Villa Estates property, we border, 3 homes border the property and access it from Cottage Street. And there's been a small parking area there that really created a lot of problems with flash flooding. So when the town came in, there's some large stones and a gravel base now that exists, making it difficult walking and impossible to use wheelchairs or a walker. The area serves all 11 of our homes, while being the primary access for 3 of them. Our elderly and handicapped residents and our visitors often drive down there to access our beach. Trash pickup delivery services regularly use this area. There are 11 homes as part of it. We have a private beach. We have a marina with 11 boats that are out in front of the beach. We I'm going to say none of us have children. We're young children. We're of all of that age. And we have trouble navigating now with wheelchair, and the neighbor that is next to me, they have walkers to get to their home. So the graveled area it's now the parking area that's been improved, as well as some stones along our border, have created another problem. From what is understood, town funding is limited and doesn't afford the highway department to fund any more work at this time. That being said, the area needs to be completed with a recommended pervious fill that's often used on roads and driveways in waterfront districts. We seek permission to address these recommended concerns at Villa Estates' expense, following direction of the Conservation Board. Since winter weather is upon us, time is in essence to get the job completed. The 11 residents of Villa Estates respectfully request the support of the Board of Selectmen in this matter. And this is sincerely Stephen Hasey, President of Villa Estates. Give a little back history. There's been a lot of discussion about what to do and how to move forward. I have spoken with neighbors. Stephen has petitioned all the residents to step up, and whatever the board would like to do down there to finish it, whether it's a partial improvement or the whole area, Villa Estates residents would like to step up and finish it in light of the town's fiscal troubles of financials. The large stones in front of my property, they border the area of Cottage Street. It's a town road, and we're the only town road that's not paved in town. It's a pretty big problem having wheelchair access. We're all, like I said, we don't have children around. We're all of that age. If we did the whole thing, partial of it, whatever the board would like, we'll do. We're willing to finish the whole area. 100 feet back from the water line would put us more than, I think, pretty much the whole area as the water's gone down now. If I just covered the stone area that's along our property, it would be maybe a third of the parking area. No matter what, we're looking to have safe egress into our homes for our residents and family and our visitors. I petitioned the Conservation Commission and asked and had conversation. They got word to me a few weeks ago that the Board of Selectmen would have to be the deciding vote on how things progress. The call that I received was to come down to you guys and see what you would let us do. I pretty much have an approval, I believe, to at least do a good third or half of it. If, I think the whole thing could get covered, and I would be definitely within, outside of the 100 feet. So, totally on what you guys would like us to do, we'd like to step up as residents and fix the problem at hand.
Do you have any photos of the problem, Dean?
Of the problem.
Well, I mean, none of us live in that area. None of
Yeah.
us are really familiar, so
Yeah.
it's
Do I
hard for us
have-
to really make
I didn't come with any. I didn't. No.
Would you be willing to come back in 2 weeks so one or more of us can come down and take a look at the issue?
The only thing with that, we were looking to get something done before the weather got bad. So I'm almost looking for an immediate, okay, this is what we can do or can't do, and this is who I want you to work under or not work under. So-
Have you approached Jim?
Jim has left it up to you. Solely up to you guys to, make the decision on how you'd like it. We want to improve the area that we live in, and it's been bad. And it's getting better. I think the flooding will subside, but unfortunately, it is hard to maneuver down there. I had a visitor with a wheelchair, it was impossible. And my neighbor came by a week ago and struggled with a walker from his car. The pavement that was put there, the gravel is settled, it's kind of difficult to navigate for the elderly with a walker, that whole area. So if I took a picture, you're gonna see some sand and some stones.
Larger stone.
Yeah,
It's
larger
pretty large.
stones.
Like
It's
softball
not like
sized
pea
or?
stone. It's bigger. What would you
Yeah,
call it?
it's a couple inches maybe, stones, if I was gonna do
Yeah, they're a little
that, and they're
bigger.
along my property, it's the whole property of Villa that's there.
I'm fine if they do anything, if they sign something saying that the town is not held liable to any damages or flooding that
And
may
I
occur
do
to the
have
household.
that for you already. I do have a release of liability that would,
Do you have somebody that's ready to do the work?
I do, I've lined up everything and it's solely, ready to go. I just need an okay.
And
Yeah,
what
'cause
is,
we kind of needed a price to present it to the Board of Managers for Villa. Just so we have an idea. I'm the treasurer, so
Right,
budget-wise.
can you tell us what the price is that you guys are paying? Out of pocket?
I think we're gonna be working within 4K
Okay.
to pave the whole area. I wanted,
With labor, yeah.
my discussion that I last had with the Conservation Commission, they said they couldn't approve it, go to the Board of Selectmen and see what they'll let you do. So my conversation with the Conservation Commission was to do a section of it. I now had the understanding from our community there that they're willing to do the whole thing. And that's what I'm presenting with you right now.
Good, Teresa.
So a couple of things. So clarification on conservation and Superintendent Daley as to why they were directed to come to the board, and that was simply for residents having work done on town-owned property. So that's where your purview comes in. I would recommend not only a waiver, but I would recommend that the town be named additionally insured by the contractor. And I would also request that you go back, if you're going to have the larger scope, for the whole thing to be done, to go back to Concom, because their purview will be at least an RDA, request for determination. That way it's not a notice of intent, it's not a big lift, but at least you'd have your the A-OK, because we don't want to have happened what happened during the project not too long ago with DEP. So
You mean when they filled that in? There were
when
issues with the DEP?
we had issues with the DEP because Jim was pretty much given a verbal to go forward, and Jim did all the right things.
Mhm.
He had the siltation devices in place, all of it, but there wasn't that paper trail.
Right.
So we just want to be careful with that, and that's all I wanted.
And that's
to
why,
bring
and
forward.
thank you,
Of
Teresa,
course.
for clarifying that. That's the sole reason that I'm here. I went back and addressed it with the highway superintendent. I addressed it with Conservation Commission to find out what was the best thing that we could do. I initially was just gonna take it upon myself and do it. But in light of some of the things that Teresa mentioned, we wanted to do the right things and not put a bad eye on our good intentions. And these are solely good intentions. We want to benefit and improve what's there. I'm OCD about taking care of property. I want to add that the town, the Villa Estates has maintained that for approximately 45 years. Mowing, sweeping, raking the beach all the way, there's well over 150 feet of frontage. I've been the one responsible for it since moving in for 5 years. We hire a contractor to mow. I mow as well. I plowed. I have an old tractor, almost 100 years old, that I bucket gravel in, fill in holes, back blade, and do things. I've been making that passable the best I can. The flash flooding is unbelievable. I believe there is a flash drive that we could show you about what has been done and what's been improved that would also show the stones and everything. Teresa may have that available to show you guys.
Well, I think I've seen photos from the work was done, but I haven't seen any photos of the finished work, and I haven't been down there.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I don't think much.
Nothing's changed. It was a
Not sure
bang,
what
bang,
you
bang,
saw,
and a
but-
few.
Well, I
things
just saw the work in progress. I didn't see
Oh,
anything.
okay. Yeah, okay.
I don't know what ComCon will allow either. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
but the last conversation I had was go to you guys and see what you'll let us do. What we're willing to do the whole thing.
So I have a concern about, the town spent some time and money down there trying to fix the drainage issue. By you paving, what you're talking about paving, is that going to cause issues for
Well,
the
that's a
work?
great question. It's going to be pervious. We're using, we're putting a finished product on top, similar to stone dust.
Okay.
If you were to view my property, I have a driveway that goes up right next to my between my lawn
Yeah.
and the neighbor. That's the material we're going to use.
Okay.
I had it put in the spring. We've had some unbelievable 100-year storms of rain. It seemed in bad weather.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything wash out on that. It stayed there, which means
Well, it's gonna sink in.
it sank right through.
Right.
It's pervious.
I think you're
So,
gonna have
so when
that.
you said pave earlier, you're not really paving.
No.
You're putting down a coating of stone dust
That's correct.
to make it easier to
It's
walk on
it's
top.
not impervious, it's pervious, it's stone
Right.
dust. It's a grade better than the gravel. It's a top coat
Yep.
of gravel. Yeah, it's a top coat of gravel that it looks good. And my intentions would be I had worked with the ComCon in the past to clean all the shrubbery on the town beach for several years.
You mean the Old Town Beach or the?
No, the town beach it's in now.
Okay.
I cleared all that out with a chainsaw for several years, and I had brush piles that were the length of Cottage Street. I had an incident that had happened, and I petitioned the Conservation Commission if out of my own pocket, wanted to address a concern. I was working in my yard and there was a baby, a young child, flailing in the water. And nobody was seeing what was happening. It was the beach, you must know, Roland, was squished with shrubbery. And the mother, as I ran over there to get help, was on her cell phone in the car and couldn't see her child who had gone around the corner. So when I went to ComCon and talked to them about it, they said, by all means, go down and here's your order of conditions. And we went down there and I won the wiki thing that year and bought chainsaw blades for the project. So anyway, it's not going to be impervious. It's a
Yep.
yeah.
So the only question I have is the highway superintendent know exactly what you'd like to do down there? If conservation says okay, is he on board with what you're wanting to do?
I can
Or does he
only
not know?
answer it this way. I can't answer that yes or no. I can only answer it this way. I've gone down and presented an option with Ann, and showed her or explained to her what I was looking to do. Jim's on the road doing his due diligence for the community. And I talked about the improvements that I'd like to make, whether it's doing a half a section, drawing a line this way, or if the board will let us do the whole thing. He has just said it's up to the board.
Okay.
So that's what I have gotten. Anytime I've ever, spoke with him, it's up to what the board wants to do.
Yep.
And I think that's the most accurate. I don't know what his position is one way or the other.
Only because it's town-owned property.
Right.
I would prefer that Jim, I don't want to say approves the plan, but knows what's going to be done and is in agreement with it, so that it's not going to undo or create another problem for highway.
Right.
And I think that you could certainly vote
That's
with
what
those conditions.
That's what I'm leading
Yeah.
up to. Is in my mind, I'm thinking if Jim is okay with the plan that you're presenting,
Yeah.
he signs off on that, and conservation signs off on that, I wouldn't have a concern. And the insurance, the vendor has a town.
I have
town
everything
name for-
already that Teresa had asked for. She gave me a heads up.
So those would be the three things that I wouldn't object to moving forward if those three things were.
Sure.
Would be my thought.
Yeah. By signing off, I would like an email from Jim copying the board and Teresa and Beth, and as well as you saying, yeah, I've reviewed what they want to do. It's fine. And of course, you'd have to abide by anything that conservation has you do.
Yeah, but that way if you
To protect the
contact
lake.
both of them
And then,
and they're on board with what you want to do,
and then what did you suggest?
additionally insured
Additionally, the town be named
Named as
additionally insured
by the
Yeah.
contractor,
Mhm. by the contractor.
Yep.
And
I have. I do have
conservation, at least probably a request for determination, or, we'll leave
something
that
in
decision
writing.
up to them,
Something
but
in writing from them.
Yeah, we'll need you'll have to conservation to sign off. And just a verbal is not going to be okay. It'd have to be either ink on paper or an email.
Right,
But-
and I would think it's gonna be, at that point, you're gonna let them know you're gonna do the entirety, or you're gonna do the half, because that's what Jim's gonna know, that's what conservation's gonna know,
Yeah.
and that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, and I'm fine with the entirety or the half, whatever you feel like you need to do to improve your situation down there. But those are the,
And maybe you say, I'm gonna do the half, we'd like to do is it okay if we do the full, if we're able to?
Yeah.
And that way you're sort of getting both approvals at the same time from both of those groups along the way.
Yeah.
And if you're able to, you can.
My initial plan was to do half of it. And where I'm coming in front of the board after discussions, if you will let us expand the scope and do the whole thing,
Yeah.
it'll make our job a lot easier and it'll look better and it'll be permanent. As part of the process, I've asked for a couple extra yards we maintain it. So we've been maintaining it. I plow it when I can. And, it's a real dangerous area that's been improved. So I'm excited that we have an opportunity to to finish it once and for all, for all the residents there that use it.
So just to clarify, Teresa, did you say there's a form for the Concom board? Or just,
Ask conservation if they
is there a form?
want, right, it would be a request for determination.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because you're not excavating or going beyond so they might just want an RDA.
All the straw wattles are still there from,
Oh, are they?
yeah,
Oh.
everything is there.
Okay.
And then, like I
Well,
said,
that'll make it easier.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
everything's
it's
in
just-
place.
Yeah.
for Lake,
And,
Yeah.
and then I
Okay.
got sidetracked with my thoughts. If you were to look at the town beach, there's some posts and a rope
Mm-hmm.
doing that. I'm proposed to doing the same thing where the parking area meets the lawn area to prevent passage any further down into the water.
so cars don't drive in.
Yeah, so
Because they turn
something
around a
similar
lot.
for posts and a rope that goes
Just to kind of
across,
let 'em
You know,
like they did on the, at the town beach.
On that, Dean, I would suggest you talk to the guy in charge of rec. He does really well. He's done a lot of work down there. So,
He can help with that?
yeah, talk to him about it and see what he says.
Okay,
And if
You've
you have to
done
come back to
great.
us, then come back to us.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
do you want to make the motion?
I can make a motion to approve the, I'll call it repair work for stone dust to be added to the Villa Estates on Cottage Street. With, as long as the highway superintendent it signs off in writing what your plans are for work, conservation signs off on the work that you're doing, and that the town is named as an additionally insured on the contractor's liability insurance,
And to be paid for at the
and to be paid for by the Villa Estates
residence.
residents.
I'll second the motion. Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
And thank you for spending your own monies to do that, as you know, because times are tough right now in the town.
Absolutely, and we're happy
Just to
to,
finish it and
Yeah.
make it, you know,
we're happy to help with the resolution. And then, I'm not sure how I am, I'm not sure how to go forward and get any approval from the highway board.
Well, not the
It's
highway board.
It's just the highway superintendent.
Highway
Yeah.
superintendent, I'm not sure.
Send him an email.
So, Teresa-
I think based,
Send
I was
them.
gonna
Yeah.
say, let me, would it be,
Sure.
so if you could let them know this is
Of
what the
course.
selectmen has decided, so we,
Yes,
so
absolutely.
that way they'll get a
Same with
heads up.
conservation.
Yeah, that they'll know ahead of time, this is what we've decided, so that's what we're asking them to do, that you're gonna bring something to them that they need to approve, so that way you can
As a
get the work
condition
done.
of the approval.
Right.
will I be able to get something from you to bring or to write
Do
to
you want
the
a copy?
Conservation Comcon board?
I will copy you on the email.
oh, so you're gonna email them and let them know?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we can probably go right off.
And it'll
And
be
then-
it'll be in
yeah,
the minutes and it'll be on
Okay,
Yeah,
Yep.
on TV too. So,
all right, thank you,
okay.
All right.
thank you.
thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Next item on the agenda is the report to select board government affairs involvement in charter negotiations.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Paul Lepenis. I'm the chairman of the Cable Advisory Committee. And Teresa has been working very closely with me particularly in the history of the contract negotiations, the expired contract, and then trying to restart the whole effort with contract meetings with government affairs. So for the last 2.5 years, I've been trying to keep communications open with Spectrum regarding a contract because I haven't had money or resources or legal advice or money to pay for an attorney to help guide us. So just keeping communications open as an advisory committee. has been my goal. And in those 2.5 years that I've been at this, I've had 7 different contacts that have been assigned to me from Spectrum. And so 7 contacts in 2.5 years. 3 contacts, or the last 2 of those contacts, have been playing kind of tennis with us regarding trying to meet with them. So the last contact we had was living up in Maine, so that's not a real local contact. So she wanted to meet with us just via Zoom. Our attorney, now that he's engaged, says we at least need to see a person face to face on the first contact. We need to know who we're playing with and what their credentials are and who they are. And so she said, all right, I can't do that, but I'll assign you a Worcester representative from Government Affairs. So we met with the Worcester representative, where we had a schedule to, and she last minute pulled the plug on the meeting. It was a live meeting, saying, well, we haven't got a specific communication from your attorney that he would show. Well, we're going, well, the chairman told you everybody was going to be there, and now you're pulling out last minute because Bill, our attorney, hasn't personally sent you an email. So, okay, we reschedule that. And so in the reschedule, a month later, we meet this woman, Nancy, from Worcester. And she's taking diligent notes. She offers us all sorts of service for any equipment issues or any concerns regarding the broadcasting of the studio. So we scheduled the 3rd meeting a month later, and that was the end of October. And last minute, the day before, Nancy from Worcester says, "Oh, I'm not going to attend the meeting. Shelley is supposed to attend the meeting from Maine." And the Maine woman says, "Well, I can't make it on such short notice." Well, the notice was a month's worth of notice that everyone was involved in. So that's the first level of our frustration.
Wow.
So, all right, I've covered that to a great degree. So in addition to contract negotiations, we've had audio issues with the broadcast that our recordings are bringing back through the TV studio or back into people's parlors, living rooms. So if we're recording at an audio level that is acceptable to us, we send it to Spectrum, and by the time it comes back to the TVs of the TV subscribers, it's way too low audio. So even if you turn it up to the maximum you can get on your TV, it's still almost inaudible. So we pulled the first select board meeting that we had off the air, because if people can't hear it, they're not going to appreciate it. Well, we weren't able to change it much. We had a few controls that we were playing with in the studio, and then the sound got distorted. But we're playing that distorted sound anyway, so that the recordings are getting out and our goals about transparency are still being met. We addressed that with Spectrum and through this woman Nancy in Worcester, and we've got no response yet from them at all. And we also wanted a service call about requesting an on-site inspection of fiber optic cable that's at the school, and maybe we could install at the senior center to improve other locations that we would like to expand to when a new contract is developed. She said, "I'll get right on it." We haven't heard anything about that either. So we've got the service issues and we've got the contract negotiations. So Teresa and I agree with our attorney that the town needs to confirm, the town, being the Board of Selectmen, needs to confirm its commitment to a timely pursuit of an acceptable licensing contract. And since the current contract expired in January 2024, we're actually providing Spectrum with the permission to use all of our easements with no active contract in place. So we're requesting the Board of Selectmen to sign a letter that is pending receipt from our attorney, and would like to maybe present at a future meeting a letter of invitation to Spectrum saying the Board of Selectmen would like to see you in person, a representative of Spectrum, to kick off the negotiations, and we would like to monitor those service commitments and progress in the contract. So I'm just looking for kind of a verbal that you understand a situation. Teresa, I think, can stand by that. And we hope that we could get the letter from the attorney for you to sign at an upcoming meeting and get an invitation for Spectrum to come and sit here and say, we're from Spectrum and we're going to be your guy.
And this is what we're going to do about the contract that's non-existent for 2 years?
We'd just like to get you involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because right now, it doesn't look like they're paying attention to us. I'm a volunteer. She's the TA. She doesn't know what's going on in the studio. We've got technicians in the studio, but we haven't run a studio in 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, we're not completely without fault here. You know, we've kind of abandoned.
No, very true. Very true.
And but they can't hold us to that if they're stalling on the negotiations right now.
Right, so there's somebody there now.
We're ready to go,
Right.
and they're not in the room.
Yep. If anything, you'd think they'd be more supportive to help us get back online. So,
All right, so we'd like to come back sometime with an actual letter in hand.
yeah,
Hopefully the next meeting.
yeah, be
That'll
happy
make it a
to.
lot quicker, because you've already heard this testimony.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. And thank you for all your effort in getting this done.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of work. We've been trying for quite a while now, so
Well, the bill's in the mail.
the bill's in the mail. That's okay, we have no money to pay.
And the check's in the mail.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is MOU for CDL license reimbursement, Highway Department votes expected.
This had been reviewed by town council, and also by the union, so it's all set.
So, just to restate it
Recap.
for the sake of the cameras, this is for the town to pay for driver's CDL licensing?
For the highway department,
Yeah,
yeah, and part of that agreement is that in order for the town to reimburse for that, the employee agrees to stay an employee with the highway department for a minimum of 2 years. That at least, gives the highway department some continuity in their staffing.
How much is the current CDL license reimbursement about?
I would say about I think around 1,500. I think if it were, and that's on the lower end. I
Yeah.
want to say that was the amount or close to it that the gentleman who just recently he's going to school now for. So.
Yep.
Mhm. And Jim does have that line item. There is a line item for education in his budget.
okay.
May I ask a question? If there's a year's or 2 year contract or a 2 year expectation that the employee who got the CDL license needs to fulfill, does that mean that the employee, if he leaves before the 2 years, he has to pay it back to the town?
Yeah, there's language in there that we would not reimburse the full amount.
Well, there's repayment language as well.
Yeah.
No, okay.
They have 30 days after termination to repay. The board can vote to either waive it or reduce it or whatever, but outside of that, they're obligated to pay back
I think,
the amount
yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's,
that they were reimbursed.
the town could do with the Board of Selectmen if there's some
Circumstances.
special circumstances. It's not gonna just be a,
Right.
you ask, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
There's very tight circumstances that would happen. The only question I had is, so it basically is that we would send them a bill after the fact if they left before the 2 years. Why would we not take it from their last paycheck, whatever we could?
I don't know.
I mean, I
I mean,
know,
I could ask council as to why.
because if
we
they're
wouldn't
signing
include
off
that,
that
but-
they're agreeing, then we would be able to take it from their pay. Because if they're signing, saying they're leaving for 2 years, we could take their last pay. We can't take it otherwise.
I would have to ask council on that one.
Because otherwise, we're leaving it open of, we're gonna send them a bill and hopefully they'll pay. If not, we have to
yeah.
go through collections.
There's something though that's coming to mind. I think
Because
I
if
had
they-
that language in there initially, and then when it was sent over, I believe it was removed, and there's a reason for that. But I can double
Believe
check
that the
on that.
employee agrees to it, that those are the terms of which he's getting the reimbursement, or they are getting the reimbursement to begin with.
I know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking that there was something.
Because otherwise, I know there was a part in here with the employee's authorized amount to be withheld from payroll, and I thought, why is that not out of the last pay? We're taking what we could.
Do you want to hold off on voting on this until we get the answer?
I would be honest
Sure.
with you, just to
Yeah, we'll put it
clarify.
back on the 9th.
Yeah, so we'll table this until we have the answer to why that language isn't
Mm-hmm.
in the document.
I would rather see it that way. We can collect what we can and then worry about collection for the difference rather than the entire amount. But the rest of it I like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Moving on, item 7 on our agenda, disclosure by non-elected municipal employee of financial interest for acceptance. Votes expected. Let's get your name on it, chief. What is it?
I know what it is, but I'm trying to get what's the
On the advice
financial
from-
interest?
An advice from Mass Chiefs
Yeah.
Legal Counsel, with a stricter, more narrow focus from the DLS and DOR. They want us to file disclosures since our salary is in our budgets, so we have a financial interest, but also that it's not going to affect the way that I budget. So they just asked, they sent it all to the Mass Chiefs and said, you gotta send us along to your
That'd be great if whatever you put in it, you got.
right?
That I could understand would be a financial interest. But seeing how it goes through selectmen, advisory, and town meeting,
And the chief isn't approving his own.
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why that's why I was a little
And
confused.
isn't it odd, though? Wouldn't you expect all
Every single
department heads
department,
to
yeah.
have to file this disclosure?
But most of the time, they're putting in what the selectmen are telling them. This is the percentage you're putting in.
Yeah. Or their contract.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Which, again, the selectmen are approving the contract.
So until the recommendation is different, I'll just be filing that once a year. Probably just gonna be changing the FY on there.
I just wasn't sure if there was something else that wasn't.
No, there was nothing else.
Understand.
I thought it was a little odd as well.
No, and the correct version's in here.
The previous version was that I didn't disclose, but that was the wording they gave us, and I just had this year's fiscal year.
Okay. So do you really need a vote? You just need votes expected to acknowledge that we've got it? Because I know you have to file it.
Do we have to sign anything?
Yes, you do. So you're voting to accept the disclosure submitted by,
It's not in there, you can have mine now.
and then on the back side, the appointing authority.
I can send you the advisory as well, if you want to read it. It's up to you.
Isn't that mine?
I can have yours.
We need to accept it, or do we need to approve it, Teresa?
Accept it.
Accept it. Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the disclosure by non-elected municipal employee of financial interest and determination by the select board for the chief of police.
I'll second the motion. Any other discussion?
Nope.
No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Now I'm all confused.
So much stuff to sign.
It's almost near the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's just not clear. I don't want to sign in the wrong spot. This is awful. I forgot what day it is already. It's the 25th, right? All right. Next item on the agenda is the holiday schedule.
So I just looked up in the calendar, looked up in the mass, you know, what everyone has for holidays and how you do the observances, and I believe it's correct, so.
I have a couple questions only to make sure. So June 19th is a newer federal holiday. So is that paid for all the employees that we have? Is it?
We've had that last year and the year before.
Yeah, it is.
It's been in there.
Okay. So Thursday, the 18th, will be for the 4-day employees.
Right.
Got it. Okay. All right. And then for 4th of July, which is on a Saturday?
Yeah, so the observance is on a Friday.
Friday. So how about those town hall employees who don't work a Friday?
I asked the same question.
I
Yeah.
think it may be a
But-
safe assumption
Yeah.
that it was Thursday, July 2nd.
Because their contract probably has that they have
Like
4th of
adding
July.
that extra one in it, you mean? Like it's almost like an extra section. Then for the people who work 4 days. Or,
They would have July 2nd because it'd be the Thursday.
yeah.
Because they
So
wouldn't
the Friday
be here
people
for-
have Friday off,
Yep.
but the people who work through Thursday would have the Thursday off.
Right.
So it's almost like putting them both together.
Yep.
Right. When I worked for the other municipality, people did not get paid.
Well, that's what I'm sure it has in the contracts that it's a paid holiday. So you have to give them a paid holiday.
Yeah, even the bumps, you're right.
Yes. Those are the only two that I had questions about.
I love that.
So if we just
wording
probably
there.
clarify on the Independence Day that Friday, it will be Friday, July 3rd for those who work Friday.
Right, and then,
And then it'll be
Thursday.
Thursday, July 2nd for those.
so I'm adding that to it as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And I didn't see anything else that was.
It was just also brought up today for Thanksgiving Eve.
For
Christmas Eve,
2025.
For 2025, for this current year. Would you allow people to go home half day?
But yeah, we have in the past. So
Yeah.
I have
But
no
we
problem with
always
that.
brought that, we brought that to you guys to ask, so. Make sure you're okay with that.
I
So
say
it'll be
yes.
all Wednesdays.
On
So it'll be
Thanksgiving
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Is
Tomorrow.
Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve is
Eve.
on the Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
On the 24th, and then
New Year's
New
Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Yep.
I'll be half
It's
days.
on that.
So is that all employees?
That's what we had before.
So the people that, I'm just trying to think of, like,
Well, it wouldn't include the police.
It include my administrative assistant,
Yeah.
okay.
but not the officers. They obviously gotta be.
Well, that's something, how do you cover the shifts with half shifts? It's a little bit tricky. And DPW and library and everybody? Like everybody? Yeah. Okay. Don't have a problem with that. I just wanted to clarify who.
And what I'll
so-
do is, after the meeting, I'll go downstairs and I'll send out an email to everyone, all the department heads.
And Jill, you want me to add to that email remind people to pick up their checks
Okay,
from the treasurer's office. If they're closing at 12, they need to pick them up earlier,
okay.
so they can,
On Wednesday.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes, but also same
Yeah.
thing will happen depending on whether it's Christmas or New Year's.
Mhm.
It'll be that Wednesday instead
Yeah,
of
she
Thursday,
usually
whichever
looks
one
as
of
if the
them.
days are funny because of the holidays, so,
Yep. One of those
Yep.
ones will be.
yeah,
That's
I'm
really
sure.
Okay.
I'll accept a motion to accept the holiday schedule as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item on the agenda is to set the date for the special town meeting of January 20th, 2026.
I know that we had spoke about the 13th, however, Attorney Petrini is not available until the 20th, and he'd prefer to be there.
I would prefer he be there as well.
Yeah.
Little things. The 20th is the night of our regular select board
I was
meeting.
gonna say,
So
so is there any reason we can't do the 27th? I won't be here on the 20th.
you won't be here on the 20th?
No. I'm gonna be out of town
Okay.
that week.
Then I guess it would have to be the 27th.
Because Petrini can't make it on the 13th, right?
Can he make it out? I mean,
I don't know.
we hate to keep pushing it back.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, because now we're a complete month behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if we can't get a quorum, there's no sense holding it though. Do we have to set it tonight? Can you find out if Brad would be able to attend the STM?
Yeah, because the 20th, the day before, is Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people take that long weekend kind of thing.
I don't have myself, so. I don't
Do we
know if
have
you can-
Brad's January schedule yet?
He gets it right at the month, so he's actually swapped with people to get it off when we needed him, so.
Well, make it the 27th. Even then, we don't know that he'll be available, but as
That's
Yeah,
No,
they
but
do
if-
rotate
but
one
if-
day out,
I was
but
gonna
you
say,
just
on
have
the
to look at
27th,
calendar and say,
yeah.
okay, they do shift, so I just have to figure out.
No, if we can
Yes,
both
it's gonna be
commit
on.
to being there on the 27th.
I can be there on the 27th, the 20th, I've got a trip.
Yeah, if you're not
6
gonna
months,
be,
so
if you're
I'm
not,
not
if
gonna
you're
be
not
anywhere
around,
around.
Yeah, let me look at his calendar
going anywhere fun?
downstairs and I'll figure it out.
good.
See Mark.
Okay.
I wouldn't cancel it for that either.
No. Not happening. And it's right, it's
So-
right smack in the middle
The
of it.
27th.
We'll have to do the 27th. I know it's later than we'd like.
Sorry. When I
Well,
saw the date, I went,
yeah,
Mhm.
hey,
I know
that's-
we had been talking about December, so that's why I'm like,
Yeah,
I didn't even
We'll
give
just-
I didn't even give it another thought.
there's no way to get it done for December,
No,
unfortunately.
no, I knew that. I just wasn't thinking January and it landed.
And we
one
don't
week
want to
ago.
do,
Yeah.
is it too,
And we always have them on. The,
Petrini won't be here on the 13th.
No.
Is it too late to do the 6th? I mean, I didn't want to do the 6th because I thought it was too close to the holidays.
schools are probably just getting back into session on the 5th.
We have our normal meeting on the 6th as well.
Yep.
So we could do that beforehand.
Second. Wait.
But do
So
we
I
have
have
enough
to
time
do
to
the
get
math
everything?
to get it
Yeah.
I was
posted.
just gonna say
So
because
hold on
I
here.
would think you'd have to get it posted with all the holidays like by December 10th.
Yeah, no, I would not be able to.
Yeah, I think.
For January 6th, there's
Okay.
just no way.
Then let's do the 27th, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay.
That I can commit to. Right now.
Next item on our agenda is the warrants.
I make a motion to approve the fiscal 26 AP warrant number 11 and fiscal 26 payroll warrant number 11 as presented.
One second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Next on the agenda is the town administrator report.
So I've been working on the warrant for a special town meeting, and I hope to have that draft finished next week. And at the latest, I will get it to you the 23rd, because I have to send it out to council. And there may need to be an article for a couple more articles there that may have to be separate from the typical unpaid bills. So there's some tricky things on there I'm going to have to figure out. So anyway, then it'll go to town council for review, and I will have it to you no later than December 23rd for execution. I already told you I met with Highway regarding Route 9 Phase 3. Met with them also on the Long Hill Road Bridge replacement project. That's coming forward. DOT expects to be issuing their 25% plans in the very near future, and then would hope to finalize and be underway next fiscal year. So the one obligation the town has is we are not doing the engineering, but we are responsible for the right-of-ways. And the estimates pulled together looks like about $15,000. And then I've revised the outline for the budget process, so we'll have a copy of that at your meeting Tuesday. And I'm fine-tuning the schedule for the Proposition 2.5. I intend to finalize the contract review with police chief and provide those recommendations to the board. I'm hoping for December 9th, your meeting on the 9th. Bob Havlis, Architectural Insight, is reviewing historical data and federal and state. Louise had provided a contact for him for a historical preservation specialist. So we'll see how this comes back.
Mm-hmm.
If it's slate, we know that cost is going to be pretty hefty. But thinking about worst case scenario, we were given like a ballpark idea that it could be, more, like 3 times the amount. So let's say if it came in at let's say 600,000 to do that, and
to do slate.
Mm-hmm. The whole thing, replace it, so you're not doing it again within the 5 years, and fixing the structural issues. The borrowing on that looks like it would be really close to the number that's already in your budget. One of those debts is dropping off.
Mm-hmm.
And so the biggest difference would be your interest line item, because it would be a new loan, so the interest is a higher amount, whereas it's lower this year because you're at the end of it, So just trying to think of those things.
Would we be doing a debt exclusion at the STM to get it approved?
Not necessarily, if we were able to fit it in that in the budget, because for fiscal 27,
Excuse me.
that
If we were gonna borrow,
would be
it would
dropping
stay
off.
within it.
It would stay within, so it might be best not to do that
Okay.
if we can. So we're just trying to, I've been in conversation with Jillian. Jillian's been in conversation with Unibank, and we're trying to map it out to get you guys as close as possible. So in the meantime, I have drafted an article to place on the warrant. Now, you know what? Worst case scenario, if you had to table it or whatever, but I don't want to miss it.
Right.
So put that on there, and then of course there's fees with borrowing, so we're identifying those. She had given me some of them, and we'll see what that comes up to. So we'll go from there, but
Okay.
that'll be another article. And then, as you know, I'm working on several legal matters, taking up a bit of my time, and I am working. Now I'm going to go back downstairs and finish up my submission on the master plan pre-contract with the state. So I'll submit that and then wait to hear back from them with the standard contract. So, and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I always feel like I'm going, rambling.
You're not rambling.
Okay.
Got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Next item was other business, but we already did other business. Do we have any other business?
Any other business?
Oh, we got a grant from Maya, so we're gonna have hand dryers.
Oh,
So no more buying paper towels. They'll save some money, so.
Yeah, and kudos
that was
goes
amazing.
to Beth and to Jillian. They both worked together to
Yeah,
apply for that
they should
grant.
have that.
and-
excellent.
We
Congratulations.
got it, so.
Yay.
Yeah.
$4,900.
Great.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
And any other comments, concerns? No comments? Do you have any?
No, I'll do one thing, just, I know you mentioned about hiring more people. I know Water's looking to replace John. And that job is out there right now,
Okay.
posted. And they
Wow.
also were looking for a part-time water person, so, but Wes is doing it on his own now, so,
Okay.
that is right there right now.
All right. Well, we'll have
And they
to.
had a range for the position as well, so.
And that is not paid through the general budget, however,
Right.
that is
Okay,
paid through the
Oh,
enterprise.
because
Okay.
So,
they're an enterprise
All right.
fund, so.
and it's an absolute must. You've got to have two
Yeah.
in the event of, so.
Okay.
Our next meeting will be December 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
And we do have one on the 2nd.
Yeah.
We have a special
Yep.
joint
Yep.
meeting
Yeah.
on the 2nd
Yep.
at the senior center again. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned.